Top of the hour. All right. Hi, everybody. If you're joining me live, go ahead and say hello in the comments, please. I would love to hear from you and know that you're out there. So I'm Kathy Mazak, and I am talking today about 5 project management skills that every academic needs to know. Okay, so as I was saying before this video officially started, you don't really have to be a project manager yourself. You don't have to be educated in project management or even really take a project management course. I'm hoping that what I'm doing here is distilling down what are the nuggets that you really need to transfer over from project management into your academic life. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for joining. All right, so 5 skills. Skill number 1. How to reverse engineer a project timeline. This is a big one, right? A lot of times what we do, or tell me if this sounds familiar, you have a project, and by project I mean, write an article or a book chapter, create a new course, get their syllabus ready for the next semester, something big that's made up of multiple tasks. And you have that project has a deadline. You put the deadline on your calendar, and then you forget about the project until, maybe 4 weeks before the deadline, you go, oh crap, that deadline's coming up. And then 2 weeks before the deadline is you try to find places in your schedule to concentrate and work on it. And then that doesn't work. You might kind of be able to manage to sprint on a project and get it in by the deadline. But that method, which is basically put a deadline out there and then don't make a clear plan on how you're going to get from where you are now to the deadline with the project, that is a stressful way to go about managing projects. And especially like we have to do, you have to manage multiple projects. And so that's very, very stressful. So learning how to reverse engineer a project timeline is a really important project management skill. All right, skill number 2, breaking projects into tasks. So I get a ton of questions about this because I'm definitely, one of the things I preach about all the time is you can't put projects on your to-do list. You have to put tasks on your to-do list. So how do you break a project down into tasks? And I think that this is something that you kind of have to take step by step. First, you have to acknowledge that it is something you need to learn how to do. And you have to give it time. So if you're about to undertake, for example, a new writing project, then you need to take some time at the beginning. When you decide that, yes, I'm going to write this thing, then you need to take some time and go ahead and break that project down into tasks in a list somewhere. And then the problem is, I think, that a lot of times what we do is we double guess ourselves. Are the tasks the right size? What's going on? Do I need to break them down smaller or not so small? I want you to kind of let all those questions go a little bit, do the best you can, and then, try it out. The best way that you can learn how to break projects into tasks is for you to do it over and over again and see how successful you are as you go. And I suggest for this, journaling or, keeping a little notes to yourself and thinking about this as this is a skill you need to refine over time. It's very difficult for somebody to teach somebody else, with what, how fine-grained do you need to break a project down into tasks? Because also if you break a project into too many tasks, it can be overwhelming. So you really have to play with this one yourself and figure out what works for you. And then I really encourage you to share what works for you with other people so that they can see if it works for them as well. Hi, Natanya and Ninfa. Thank you for joining. We're on skill number 3, which is scheduling multiple simultaneous projects. So this is something that project managers do, especially with fancy software where they can see a project management timeline and how different projects overlap. But probably in even most businesses, people or a company isn't quite managing the number of projects that one academic manages. It certainly isn't one or two projects, right? We have lots of things going on at the same time. So figuring out how to schedule multiple simultaneous projects, how to put energy into different projects at once, how to get them onto your calendar. All of those things are skills that we need to develop as academics. Natanya, don't worry. I'm going fast, but you can go back and watch number 1 and 2. And actually, I have a blog post about this too. So skill number 4 is estimating time to task. And this is a lot like breaking a project down into tasks in terms of, I can't tell you how long it's going to take for you to do a task. There's lots of factors that determine how long it takes you to do a task. I'll just name a few. One is that not all tasks take the same amount of time. Not all tasks are the same size. So even as you're getting, good at breaking things down into, projects down to tasks, you have to kind of understand that your tasks are never all going to be the same time. So you have to play with estimating how long it's going to take for you to complete a task. Other things, when you tackle the task, at what time of day you tackle the task, affects how long it's going to take you. I don't know if you've had this experience, but I've been experiencing it this weekend as I've been putting the final touches on my new course, that if I sit down and try to figure out some technical aspect that I want to express in a lesson in the course, this is what I was doing yesterday afternoon, I was like banging my head against the wall. And then I was like, stop. Do it first thing in the morning tomorrow. And then this morning it was like, click, figured it out, and was able to record the module with no problem. So it depends. Like I could have taken hours and kind of tried to trudge through something, or I can put a task aside and then try to take it on during my best, most focused times when I can do things much quicker. So this is all to say that estimating time to task is, again, a skill, and you have to hone it. And you also have to hone it for you. Like how long it's going to take the person next to you to do that thing is not necessarily the same as it's going to take for you to do the thing. So again, experimenting, figuring it out for yourself, reflecting on how well you've estimated how long it takes for you to do the task. These are skills that you need to hone. Skill number 5 is using templates and workflows. I guess I snuck in 2 skills into one, which is templates and workflows. So I think a lot of the times we think as academics, like I found that many people reinvent the wheel every time they sit down to do something. And we don't have to do that. We can use templates. And by a template, I don't mean like a half-written academic article that you cut and paste things into. That's not what I mean. I mean a template of tasks. I mean, for a project, when you break a project down into tasks, you probably do the same types of projects all the time, right? You do the same type of writing. You do the same types, of things like, directing a thesis or creating a course. Like these, like there's probably 10. You could say things that you actually do, like projects that you do, types of projects. So once you've figured out how to break those 10 things down into tasks, those 10 projects into tasks, make a template, and you don't have to do the work of breaking a project, that type of project, into a task again. The same with workflows. So I think that this is, again, like something we can borrow from project management that would be super helpful, which is that when you do the same things over and over again, what a workflow does, it just articulates like what are the steps that you're going to take in order to do the thing. Data management is something that comes to mind. Like, okay, I'm going to and this is something that you could create the workflow and then give it to a graduate assistant to do. And you're like, well, here's the checklist of what you have to go through in order to, you have a observation that you recorded, and then how you get it into your qualitative research analysis software. What are the steps? Okay, I'm going to do this, and this, upload, blah, blah, blah. And that's a workflow. So those kinds of workflows expressed as a little checklist or a little paragraph explaining what you're going to do. And then what you do when you use a template and a workflow is that you remove the cost, the energy cost and the time cost of making decisions over and over again. So I want you to think about this. How many decisions do you make in a day? So if you haven't planned out what you're going to do before you get to work in the morning, then you're starting your day with a bunch of big decisions. What are you going to work on? What's the first part of that thing that you're going to work on? If you haven't broken projects into tasks, then you need to do that. There's just like a million little, what to do first. There's a million little decisions that you make, and those decisions cost you time, but to me, like even more important, I feel like energy and concentration. So this is all to say that try developing templates and workflows. These are things that are going to help you in your day-to-day life. And I'm going to give you a bonus skill. And the bonus skill, which would be number 6, but I'm going to call it a bonus, is to use some kind of project management software. As you may know, if you've been watching me for a while, I use Trello. As we go through this week, I'm going to be going live every day, and I'm going to show you some ways to use Trello for academic project management. But the tool that you use isn't as important as the mindset shift that you take, which is that you need to be a project manager, and you need to approach your academic projects as a project manager. So I hope that these 5 project management skills that you can develop are helpful to you. I think it's really important to kind of reveal how, what are some approaches that we could take as academics to make our academic life less stressful, more focused, and really make that mental space and time for concentrating on the deep work type projects that we want to do. It's all about feeling better as you move through your academic life. And I really think, academia can be so stressful, and you can really feel like you're being pulled in 1,000 directions. And I'm just hoping that through these little videos, I'm going to help you to figure out ways, and to even consider figuring out ways to make your academic life less stressful, more focused, and more enjoyable, because we need your voice out there changing your field and making people's lives better. So have a wonderful Monday. I'll be live again tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye.